Welcome back to Nite Lite. I am Pete Schwaba. Thank you for being with me on this Friday night. Beautiful Friday night in Wisconsin. Just gorgeous. Not real Christmassy, but that's okay. It's okay with me anyway. Hey, I'm very excited to announce my next guest, or to welcome my next guest. She has been described to me as Civic Media's do-it-all girl. She does voiceovers, writes news, does slice-of-life features, interviews, stories, and she's got a very velvety voice that I love hearing on Civic Media all the time. Terry Barr joins me now. Hi, Terry.
Hi, Pete.
Was that a good enough intro?
I have my Nite Lite on tonight for you.
Let's bring some light to each other's night. See what I did there?
I love it.
Yeah, me too. Hey, so this is so cool that you're taking time out on a Friday night to hang with me just for a few minutes here to talk about Kiss.
Well, this past weekend, the final two Kiss End of the Road tour shows happened at Madison Square Garden in New York City, and they claim this is it. They are done as a band, as Kiss, as we know it, for 50 years.
Good Lord.
All done.
Wow.
Yeah, we were really fortunate to be invited by some friends to join them to go to the final show. And for us, we love New York City. We almost moved there a long time ago, and we did not, just for a whole bunch of reasons that could be a whole other show.
Yeah.
But we have friends that live there, and we love that city. But neither one of us had ever been to Madison Square Garden, so the opportunity to go there for Kiss, who grew up basically around the corner from Madison Square Garden, was we couldn't pass it up. We had to go.
Kiss grew up around the corner from Madison Square Garden?
Yeah.
Like Gene
Simmons? Two of the guys are from Queens. Two of the other guys are from the Bronx.
Really?
Yeah.
I did not know. I had no idea. I will tell you, my first album, I'm not kidding, was Destroyer.
That's not bad.
Not first
Pete,
Kiss
way to
album.
go.
Yeah, that was my first album ever, and I was kind of like peer pressured into buying it because there was older kids in my neighborhood, so I bought Destroyer. My brother Tim brought a John Denver album, and I used to tease him. Yeah, and I was like, "Oh, John Denver," and now I love John Denver. But anyway,
of course, don't we all? Yeah.
But I still like Kiss.
Gosh.
And my mom said when I got the album, she said, "Well, the thing with those bands, Peter, is they're going to be gone in 2 years. You'll never hear from them again." So I reminded her of that the other day.
Flash in the pan.
Yeah,
kind of
yeah,
thing.
with the makeup and the music. But here they are, 50 years later, and you were there. You braved New York City, the crowds, the flights, everything, and I think that's pretty impressive. What did you think of Madison Square Garden?
Thanks. Well, and it's so funny because my husband, we are equal Kiss fans. And we always say, there's like a joke, hey, what's your favorite band, when you first meet each other? Oh, it's Kiss. Oh, and they lived happily ever after.
Check, please. Yeah.
Yeah. But I remember he said his mom would actually take his albums, read the liners from the albums. Remember, you could actually have the lyrics on, and then she would decide if he could listen to it or not. My parents were like, but when I wanted to go to the first concert, when I was still pretty young, junior high or something, that's when the foot came down and said, no, you will have to wait until you have your own money and you're old enough to go.
That's probably not a bad place to put the foot down, actually.
That's funny.
Given your age. I remember when I heard Detroit Rock City, I was like, whoa, Detroit is the Rock City? I got to go there. Like, I took everything so literally because I was so young.
We didn't know. And now if you listen to some of the lyrics again, you go, oh my gosh, that's what they're saying. Right. Maybe I was singing them wrong way back then, but...
And you posted a video to your Facebook page from the concert that I watched. Your husband really was getting into it. He was having a blast.
Oh, we were so lucky. We have gone to, this would be our 6th End of the Road tour show, only because this started back in 2019. And, what happened in 2020? So we were able to kind of space out our shows over the time, kind of with the money as well, affording to go to these shows.
Yeah.
And so in the end, this last show on Saturday was our 6th end of the road tour show.
Jeez.
But then we looked at each other and we said, now what do we do?
Oh, they'll be back. They're bilking you.
Well, that's what everybody else is saying, too. We went to a comedy show in New York on Thursday night before the show. And this is a guy, Craig Gass. He's hilarious.
Okay.
He does imitations of all the guys in the band. So this really became a Kiss comedy show where he was basically talking to himself, but in all their different voices. But at one point, he asked everybody in the crowd, a very Kiss-filled crowd, of course.
Yeah.
All right, so who thinks this is it, that we won't get to see each other again? And nobody said a word. So
great.
you know where that's going. Yeah,
Right.
Everybody expects something to come next.
Do you have a favorite Kiss song?
I have a couple, and one one is "Love Gun." Now, just don't freak out.
No freaking out is taking place here. Nothing.
Yes, I love that song because this is when Paul Stanley, the lead singer with the star on his eye, throws his guitar over his back, puts his foot in a ring that goes up in the air, and he flies across the entire crowd to a backstage.
Oh, wow.
And if you weren't able to get great tickets and you sat in the back, he comes out to sing and play for you. And on this particular night, he did like 4 songs out on that backstage.
Wow.
So that has
That's
become my
fun.
favorite song because I know what he does during that song. So that's what I always picture when I hear it. But their opening number is Detroit Rock City.
Yeah.
And it's a banger. You know, that's a great way to start a concert.
They have a lot. It seems like every song I think of theirs is a banger. They have so many of them. And I have a funny Paul Stanley story. So I lived in LA for years, and I went out to lunch with a buddy of mine. We gassed his car up, and who's at the gas station but Paul Stanley?
No.
Yeah. So my friend, his name's Jimmy Pardo, very good friend, great guy, very funny. He turns into a spaz. He's like, oh my God, I always have a Kiss CD in the car. Where is it? And he's looking around for it so Paul will sign it. And he's like, I cannot believe this. And I said, oh my God, man, hold it together. You know, you're freaking out. Like he really
and you're laughing at him, I bet.
Kind of, but I'm also like, you got to chill. You're going to freak him out, you know. And we pull up and Paul pulls back and he pulls up to Paul and he just leans out the window, cool as can be, and says, love the new album. And Paul Stanley comes over to the car and starts talking to us. And he's like, what songs did you like? And he's really grilling. They had a great conversation. And when it was over, this was a couple minutes, but when we pulled away, I looked at him and I was like, I am in awe of you. Because I thought he was going to lose his mind. And he pulled it together. And I just wanted to tell you, though, that Paul Stanley was really cool.
Yeah. Yes. We have actually been lucky to meet the current lineup. And, you know, I always have to remind people, Eric Singer, the drummer, and Tommy Thayer, the guitar player, they have actually been in Kiss now longer than the original members. And I'm not saying that to bash Peter Criss and Ace Frehley because we love them. They help make Kiss. But we've met the current lineup. We've met Ace Frehley. And the only person we haven't had the opportunity to meet is Peter Criss, though we did go to a Creatures Fest Expo in Nashville a couple of years ago. And he was there, and he did a show, and he was wandering around. So at least we got to wave.
Like he did like a music show?
Yeah. These expos are bananas. Yeah, they do Kiss expos. They bring in almost anybody and everybody that has had any association with Kiss. Jeez. And it's just the most fun thing ever. And, of course, there's a huge, buyer thing where you can go and buy. Everybody's got all their collectibles out for sale. And, it's really incredible. Yeah.
I am talking with Terry Barr. She is a Civic Media personality and does great pieces. I love the thing you did. I think you did a thing about hamburgers in Seymour, maybe?
Hamburger Days.
So great. I was like, oh, that's where the hamburger's from. But tell us about Max Inc.
Max Inc. Radio is a specifically focused on Wisconsin artists, local music, and anyone that has anything to do with Wisconsin. So say you grew up here, but you decided to take your career elsewhere. We've got Madison Malone, who is in L.A. now. We've got Megan Rose, who's in New York City. We still consider them ours.
Yeah,
so anytime
good.
they do new music, they are welcome to be on the show, to share their music. And we do talk to other artists that might be coming through Wisconsin and touring. One example was the Oak Ridge Boys. They come through every holiday, and they also played in Oshkosh during the summertime. So we did an interview with them, and that was super fun. Who doesn't love those guys?
Are they cool guys?
Yes. Yes.
So many of those bands, when they get older and have perspective, and maybe they always were cool. They seem like just much more, I don't know. That's really, I love hearing that guys are cool guys,
Oh, me too. Sometimes you worry,
Yeah.
how is this going to go? But once you find out they like to talk about their pets and traveling and, the rough road, the fun stuff. Yeah, they're just like us, and I love that. They really are. So that's very cool. But our show is live every Saturday night across the Civic Media Network and the app, of course. We start at 6 o'clock. We have what we call Live in the Lair from 9 to 10.
That's so fun.
And yeah, we feature a band or an artist live for that entire hour, playing songs, talking to us about the songs. And I think what they appreciate is they can't do that anywhere else. They don't get that hour to actually showcase their music and themselves. And then from 10 to midnight, the show goes a little heavier. We've got some awesome metal bands in Wisconsin.
Yeah. Well, your show is excellent. I think it's just, and it's what a great idea on a Saturday night. It's just how fun.
And we have fun, and we hope the artists have fun. And we love to give our sponsors, a little time on the air, and then anybody else that just is associated with anything in the music business, whether it's venues or other people trying to help musicians, just to give everybody a chance to kind of try to make it. Because radio doesn't get to do that the way it used to break artists on the air.
Right.
So we like to think maybe someday one of these amazing local artists, we're going to help them break through.
Going old school. Yeah, that's pretty cool. We just have about a minute left, Terry. So what I want to ask you, real tree or fake tree? What are we looking at in the bar home?
Oh, no. It always used to be real. And then in the last couple of years, it became fake, 2 fakes. One is a Charlie Brown tree, definitely.
Oh, man.
How about you?
I'm fake, too, but was real for years. And it's just like, I don't know, you get old, you get lazy, whatever. But I'm totally fake. It's too easy. And they look too beautiful.
I know. And all you do is pull it apart and stick it in a carton, and then you bring it back out again the next. I know, it's awful.
Exactly. Well, Terry, go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to say hats off to all the Wisconsin Christmas tree farmers, though. We love you.
Yeah.
Thank you for all you do. Yeah.
Very nice. Well said. That's I had an opera singer in the studio and now a Kiss fan, so I've run the gamut here tonight. Thank you so much for joining me on a Friday night.
You are an equal opportunity kind of guy.
That's right.
Thank you, Pete. This
You're
was super
welcome.
fun.
Have a great weekend. It's Civic Media's Terry Barr. Thanks, Terry.
Bye-bye.
Bye.